So here's a little end of the summer season, beginning of fall. It's October and my knockout roses are coming into bloom again. They're continuous all the time except in the winter. The hydrangeas seem to even be putting out some more blossoms. And I didn't deadhead any of the other ones, but I should and put them in a bouquet or something. I think these are yellow mums. And, oh, I wish I would have caught these earlier. These are a beautiful little orange rose. I should have trimmed off and deadheaded all this. This has a pink rose bush in there, but I threw in some wildflower seeds. So I've got marigolds, whatever this is, and this silk flower, which is just gorgeous. Before it opens up, it's just very silky. It's really gorgeous. And the roses, I really need to, I don't use any kind of chemicals. And so something on here is really chewing them, but I use these rosebuds in a tea and it is just delicious. The stronger the rose smell, the better the rose tea. My cherry tree has been harvested and done for another year. At some point, if I get these branches to grow thick enough, I'd like to try and whittle a spoon from one of the branches. I think cherry would be gorgeous. So I moved my blueberry plants to the side here because the ones up that way, the blueberry, I have 4 blueberry plants that up at the top of the sidewalk, and they are doing really well. I had blueberry plants where those banana looking trees are, and they didn't do well there at all. So we'll see what they do here. I threw in some carrot seeds, and so some carrots are coming up. Next week's supposed to rain a lot. That's another blueberry. This has been a delicious pepper. It's a banana pepper, but it's not a light yellow. It's a dark green. This is a banana pepper. That's like in the Greek peppers that you eat in a jar. And so it's 2 different kinds of peppers. I don't see their sticker, so I don't know the names. And this is a jalapeno. And anyway, this is lots of tarragon. I love the way it's growing right through my little metal carrot. So it actually gives the carrot some real green at the top here. But this tarragon in chicken salad, oh my gosh, it smells so good. Very sweet. I just harvested about 5 eggplants off of here, and I have a couple more growing. There's another blueberry. These are where the blueberries were that they didn't do well. I just moved these banana trees. This came up on its own, and I have a cucumber over here, which is nice. This is spearmint. I also moved these banana trees. They're doing a little better. Lots of tomatoes. They're coming up on their own. This fennel I've had for 2 or 3 seasons now, and basically I use it for the seeds. The stalk of it is too thick to cook. You can also, when the fennel, before it goes to seed, there's also a pollen that's on there, and I think you can use that in flavoring. I tried to save that once, but it was really impossible to do. So you might want to look at all the ways you can use fennel, because It's not just for the bulb itself. It's for the seeds. It's for the pollen. It's really got lots of uses. This is my mulberry tree. Now it's probably almost 2 stories high. And this was my echinacea. These are the blueberries that are doing better than the ones that were in the middle of the yard. They have more leaves. They had more blueberries. This is, I believe, an oregano. Yep, that's oregano. All right, this is my apple tree. I grew about 6 or 7 years ago just from the seed of a Macintosh apple. This year I did get one blossom, but no apple. So we'll see what happens to this next year, but at least this year I got to see a flower on it. I still have some figs. I cut my fig tree way back. It was absolutely covered with figs. If you didn't pick a ripe fig fast enough, ants got in it, bees got in it, flies were around it. It was the buggiest thing I've ever seen. They say we don't have a lot of bugs anymore. I beg to differ. Maybe I had them all at my house on this fig tree. Anyway, I cut it way back, and I want to try and keep it more contained. I want to grow it taller so I can pick it without having all the smaller branches to go by when I mow. This, I threw in my butternut squash over here. It would be, oh no, actually I threw it in over here. So, I don't know what this is growing, but it looks like a cucumber or something, or a squash. This is a little fig tree that's coming, an avocado tree that's coming up from an avocado seed that I probably put down in there. Lots of marigolds. The rosemary is like growing into a bush. But boy, when you touch it, the oils of this, it's like grabbing a handful of Christmas. It is just, it opens your lungs up. There's something about rosemary that just smells so good. The same with the pine needles on those trees. When I stand next to those, after I've watered the trees, the big ones, something about the evergreen and the oil is just really good for your lungs to breathe. At least it seems to be. I put some peas down in here. So I do have some peas growing. They aren't getting that big. And they're competing with all this furry asparagus, which next year I hope comes out big enough to harvest. It's getting thicker. I can't remember how many years I've had this in now. I haven't harvested anything yet, because each year I just let it come back, and each year it does get a little bit bigger. This is rhubarb, and I had moved it. It didn't grow where I moved it to. Gosh, and I need to add dirt back to this box. You can see one of the crowns of the asparagus. Look at how many have come out on that one crown. It's amazing. All right, now this is my lime tree I just bought, and this right here is my lemon tree, and it's stayed outside. It's on concrete. This is a corner of my porch. Basically what I do over the winter is I put a tomato cage in there, and then I put a shower curtain around it. I'll probably put some 6 mil plastic around it this year, and then I put bags of pine needles that I get from my mother's yard from her pine tree when I rake up there, and then just put that around the containers to keep it more insulated and warm. And so far this lemon tree has stayed out in this container because it's too big for me to bring in the house, and it's made it through a couple of winters. I also had put some seeds of coleus in here, and that's going crazy. Look at this all new growth right here. This is my new lime tree. So I'm hoping I'll have the same luck as I have with the lemon. This past winter, the lemon tree kept its leaves. The winter before, it lost everything. In fact, I didn't even see it in the pot and thought it was gone and died, and it came back. So never think that they're gone. They might just be hiding under the dirt. But it seems like, and it's the same with my big fig tree, because if you can grow figs, you can grow olives. And right here I have an olive tree. So it seems like if you can get the roots established, then you'll have luck with the plants. So here's hoping my lemon and my lime tree make it. This is avocado. Now this does seem to die back in the winter, but it keeps coming back. Now I usually take this in the house. I'm not going to this year. I'm just going to build a, I guess you would say, like a greenhouse around it. So we'll see what happens. The fern will probably die in the winter. And I think I bought that this year, so I can't say it came back last year. This is from my aunt. She gave me some coleus. Thanks, Annie. She gave me these irises, and I planted some bulbs in there, so I can't wait to see what comes up in spring. It's funny how you end your season of harvest and you're already ready for the next year to enjoy whatever comes up in the spring. This is a butterfly bush, and I did get a lot of butterflies, and the bees are also very happy with it. So I'm glad to see nature enjoying it. I have my grapevine. I also, these banana trees aren't banana trees, they're ornamentals. They don't produce bananas, but they're so tropical looking. I really enjoy them. And what I wanted to say and skipped is this is a green concord grape that's new. I had a dogwood tree that died. I left it in the ground, and who knows, maybe this grapevine that seems to be climbing it just as I wanted it to will give me some grapes this next year. So I share a lot of grapes with the birds. They absolutely love grapes. And I make concord grape jelly, so I love them too. So I have 2 boxes here with asparagus in each box. What's funny, if you look down at the ground, you can see the string beans are done. They were going across the archway, but some of them dropped into the ground, and they've actually started growing string beans down here in the grass. So that's kind of cute. And there again is my olive tree. I planted that this year in the ground. We'll see what happens. This is a blackberry bush. Raspberries really gave me a lot of berries this year. They still are. And with, just like your spices, the more you pick them, the more will grow. So keep harvesting them, and you'll keep getting more. Raspberries go right into the October, so they'll continue for a while. My pear tree actually doesn't look so good. I don't know what's breaking off branches here, but it looks dry. We do need some rain. So a rose bush, which was part of one that my aunt gave to my grandmother. They were sisters. And so now I have a part of it. It's a beautiful pink rose. More carrots back in here. This is a Weigelia, 3 of them. That is probably 100 years old. This is my artichoke. I picked one this year and now it's still growing. They just seem to keep growing. This will be the second winter for that artichoke. This is my pecan tree. Last year I got one pecan. I had to chop the top of it off because of the cicadas. Totally killed a lot of limbs on trees this year. I don't see any pecans, so that might be part of the problem now from the cicadas and me chopping off the top. It grew lots of green, but I don't see not one pecan. This is a butterfly bush. So, ooh, bees, lots of bees. Basil. And another eggplant, but this never really did that good. And this thing just grew and grew, so I chopped this way back. I harvested 2 bowls of tomatoes. This is a sage. I had dill in here, and you can see a little piece of the chamomile, and I also harvested that. So there's my concord grapevine. I have 2 butterfly bushes. One's purple, one is yellow. This is a whole pot of spearmint, although it's died back a bunch. In some of these pots I have turmeric. I'm not sure if it'll grow, we'll see. But yeah, that's it. Spices, plants, berries, trees, cherry tree, apple tree, pecan tree, olive tree, pear tree, raspberry, blackberry, mulberry, fig tree, rosemary. I didn't show you this. This is so bizarre, all these string beans growing. Oregano, and then I put something in here. Looks like a bean's coming up, probably from a pod that dropped. But I think I had some kind of lettuce in here, but I don't see it coming up, or parsley. So I don't know what happened to that, but I had some potatoes over here. I had them in bags. I didn't do that well with potatoes. Next time I'll just put them in the ground. And anyway, hope you all had a nice harvest. Good luck with your next year's crop, and continue to enjoy your harvest.